If you've seen It's a Wonderful Life, then you probably remember this. Greetings, Earthlings. I'm Dr. Will, and welcome to Dr. Will Presents. Every third Tuesday, I'm going to be fielding questions on just about anything. If you'd like more content like this, then subscribe below. If you'd like to ask me a question, then put it in the comments or send it in. First question comes from Eduardo. He asks, "So, you have a vlog?" Yes, that was easy. The next question comes from Ben, and he asks, "So what are you a doctor of?" Good question. So a bit of history. I'm a doctor of software, PhD in computer science from the Pennsylvania State University. All three of my degrees are in computer science, but I'm not an academician. For the past dozen years, I've been running my own business in the software space. The next question comes from Jen, and she asks, "When you say ask me anything, do you really mean anything?" First, you can ask me anything you want. I won't necessarily answer it. Some of the things I won't answer here, if it's an obviously intensely personal question, I'm not going to answer it on the vlog. If it's a legal question, well, I'm not an attorney, but where those questions about life, the universe, and everything, business, touch on legal matters, I'll give you my thoughts on it. But if it looks like you need legal advice, I'll say that. Similarly, medical questions, I'm not going to answer. I'm not a doctor of physiology, human physiology or animal physiology, so I'm not going to answer medical questions, but questions that touch on health, exercise, nutrition, things like that, I'll give you my thoughts on, but I won't be giving you medical advice per se. If it sounds like the kind of question that needs actual medical advice, I'll suggest that. Basically, what we're doing here is what I like to call Dadvice, or Dad's advice to you, whoever you are. Trolling. I don't feed trolls. That's been true since before the internet. If you've been around long enough, you may remember Usenet. I didn't feed trolls there either. Finally, politics. I'm happy to answer questions from my perspective on issues, economics, diplomacy, war, policies, but politics in the sense of this party or candidate versus that party or candidate, boring. It's alienating for at least half of the population, no matter what position you're in. I'm not here to talk about politics, but I'm happy to talk about things that matter, policies, about economics, about your life, about how to run and operate a business, whether you're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur. Whatever I can give you advice on in those regards, happy to. Next question comes from Anne. Should I take out a student loan to go to college? Well, Anne, that depends on a lot of things. First of all, think of it in terms of the business of your life. Mark Cuban, a successful entrepreneur, everyone probably now knows him as the owner of the Dallas Mavericks basketball team, but he was a successful entrepreneur before he made the money to buy a basketball team. And he said that anyone who starts a business on borrowed money is a moron or an idiot, or an expletive deleted moron, depending on which video you see of him talking about this question. The problem is that you have the borrowed money, you don't know about the revenue side of what you're going to earn, but you do know that you've got the expense of paying off the loan, and there's so much uncertainty. Certain expense, uncertain revenue, it's not a good equation. I respect Mark Cuban's advice. That said, if you have certainty of revenue, if you're certain or relatively certain that you're going to be able to have the revenue from a career or from a business, it can make sense to borrow some money to do that. There are a few iron rules though. First of all, don't borrow money to go to college to find yourself. There are better places to find yourself than spending thousands of dollars a year to sit in a classroom. Do not borrow money for a 4-year party. That is stupid. Finally, do not borrow money to go to college in order to get a good job. It depends on too many things like what kind of job, what kind of education you're getting, and your other skills and life experience. There are a ton of people out there who've borrowed a ton of money to go and get a degree and then cannot find work suited to that degree. They still have to pay the loan back, and they're sitting in ill-paying jobs or not well-paying jobs, or they're sitting in minimum wage jobs, struggling in order to pay the loan and live. It's not worth it. Reverse the process. Work first. If you think you're going to want to go to college, get some of the classes out of the way where it's less expensive to do so, like in a community college. And then once you have a better idea of what you want to do and what kind of degree you want to pursue, then you can judiciously pursue those goals without borrowing. Ultimately, the question is whether it's a good decision to do this, and that decision is yours to make, which means you have the responsibility for making this choice, not your parents, not your guidance counselor, not the school recruiters who you might talk to. None of them are going to bear the consequences of your decision. It's your responsibility because you bear the consequences. Do your due diligence, make a good decision, and then live with it. Finally, it's important to note that you do not need a college degree in order to have a good life. And we'll talk about what a good life is. Well, that's all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And a conversation is more interesting than a monologue, so please subscribe and comment below, especially if you have any questions you'd like me to answer. And we'll include them in the next Ask Dad He Knows segment. It's been great talking with you. Be careful out there. I'll be seeing you. Bye.